Hello YouTubers, Doctor Who fanatics, to another celebration video to celebrate my biggest milestone on YouTube yet, which is 1,000 subscribers. Saying that, it's just probably the most satisfying feeling ever. By this time the Q&A has already been uploaded, even though when I'm recording this video right now the Q&A hasn't even been recorded or even uploaded yet. Actually, this is the first 1,000 subscriber video I'm actually recording. So yes, by the title, this is Doctor Who Top 15 TV Stories. These, you can look in my list of probably my favourite stories ever throughout my Doctor Who journey, and these ones I've shown you are just beyond brilliant, some of these, and especially I just have a soft spot for some of them as well. But when I get to start with this video, this is in the Q&A, even though I haven't even uploaded yet, but there is I did a giveaway sort of thing where 2 people can actually get a free Big Finish off me. Come on, Big Finish the best. And there's a lot of people a lot of YouTubers who want to start onto Big Finish, and I can get you started right here. So yes, I will, in this video, after when this video is finished, you'll be going to Future Me, the first winner. You can pick whichever one you want to, but I've given another chance for someone else to win. And say, for example, the first person picks Cold Hits, then you will be, if you want to, you can have red. So yeah, it's going to be going like that. So good luck to anyone who is in this giveaway thing. As well, all you need, I did say it in the Q&A, and all you need to do is put in the comments saying, "Oh, I want that Big Finish." So anyway, we'll be starting off this video straight away of these brilliant stories. Now, how I'm going to structure it is like top 15 stories. So far, I'm going to be going through the 10. I'll be going to 15 to 5. Then I'll be going through some honourable mentions that almost made the list, but they unfortunately just couldn't because I think the other stories are better. And then I'll be doing the top 5. And you're probably wondering what the hell's happened here. But yeah, I flipped them over so you didn't know which one I picked up. Let's get straight to it with number 15. Number 15 on the list, we have Dalek, a new series one. Probably weren't expecting that, weren't you, for the start of it? Even though you know I love classic TV the most, but this one is beyond brilliant. I do really enjoy this one. It just shows how powerful a Dalek can really be. And it's just one Dalek in it, and the Doctor quoted that everyone on the planet is in danger because of this one Dalek still alive, and the amount that the Dalek kills in this episode is beyond brilliant. That's why you're saying this is what a true Dalek is, even though it's such just a basic title. It's just really effective. It is. The characters are just brilliant. If you love Dalek, you will love the Big Finish Audio Jubilee. Absolutely. Yeah, this is my favourite New Who episode. So yeah, that's a bit of a spoiler. There's no more New Who stories because I'm no more of a classic person. But yeah, just fantastic, gripping characters, a fantastic storyline where it's like complete survival to get away from this Dalek. And you know, I love it where they try and mock the Dalek when it's by the stairs, and it just says, "Nah, you're not going to mock me." It reminds me of a little tweet of remembrance of the Daleks. Brilliant story. As I said by the line here, it gets a 9 out of 10. It's beyond brilliant. I don't really have a problem with this episode, really. Otherwise, I just think other stories are better than it. That's probably just it. But yeah, it's a cracker. Definitely check it out. And definitely check out the Big Finish Audio Jubilee if you're a fan of this. It'll definitely be worth it. Number 14, we have a John Pertwee episode, The Green Death. Now this one wasn't on my top 10 John Pertwee stories revisited, but I haven't watched the story in an extremely long time. It's been about a year. But I watched it again and I absolutely loved it, and I was more engrossed in the storyline. And it's actually pretty good. I remember that there's some sort of organisation. I think it's making something about global chemicals or something like that, but underground they are storing all of this mutation and waste and all that, and all these sinister giant maggots growing everywhere. And it's actually a really good story of like a corrupt organisation and all like that. I remember it really good, and I loved it. It was quite creepy in some places as well. The maggots are really good. Characters were brilliant. I like the boss in it as well. But yeah, a brilliant story. The maggots are brilliant. Brigadier's brilliant. It's a really good unit story as well, with flipping brilliant action. And as well, it is a departure story. One of my favourite departure stories of the brilliant Joe Grant. This one, it always tears you up, it does. It's just so beautiful, it is. and I love it. It feels like an end of an era, it does, absolutely. It's written by Robert Sloman, and it's it's a really good script, it is. And definitely check it out. The only thing I don't like about this DVD is the special edition on both the sides. That always irritates me on DVDs, but with the story, absolutely great story. Number 13, The Seeds of Doom. A great writer. A flippin' brilliant writer, I would say as well. It features one of my most favourite one-off monsters ever, the Crinoids, and they are great, even though they're just spray-painted axons. They are really good. Like, explaining the Crinoid in a way is where animals eat plants, but with the Crinoids it's the opposite way around, where the plants are the predators and they eat the animals and all that. It's a really good take that plants strike back, because, you know, we cut down so many trees and like that, and it just reminds me of the plants taking revenge. It's brilliant. Crinoids are like a metamorphin infection race, where they metamorph you into these giant things as well by food as well, so they're complete predators, they are. This is a really action-packed story by Robert Banks Stewart. There's a lot of John Pertwee style stuff. Tom Baker actually fights back as the Doctor. He just throws some punches. He's really aggressive as well. I need to shout on the top of his lungs in this episode as well. Very based on the siege with the Crinoids attacking the house and they're all trapped in it. Probably a really scary thing to see in real life. A massive Crinoid, like, oh god, that'd be terrible, that would. But yeah, brilliant. My only concern about it is wobbly sets. So it was wobbling the house a little bit. Otherwise, it's brilliant. 9 out of 10 again. Flipping a brilliant story. And I really enjoy it. It's from season 13. What more can you get better than that? Number 12, we have a missing episode. And it's a shame about it, really. Only 3 episodes exist of it. It's 2, 5 and 10. And that's it from this. Well, it's actually 13 episodes because it contains Missions to the Unknown, but I'm not including that. It's a Daleks master plan. Just a great, all-round, fantastic story. The only thing I would say about it as a negative, you can't watch it, or, well, you can't listen to it all in one go, because you will die. You pretty much die, you do. It's 5 hours and 20 minutes long. It's like an audiobook, and you can't, like, listen. You have to have a break on it. I just have a break on it by each CD. And I thought, whoa, what a flipping brilliant story. It's really action-packed, very dark story. The Daleks are brilliant. It's my favourite Dalek story from the William Hartnell era. It's brilliant, fantastic characters. Marvick Chen is brilliant. I always forget the real actor's name. I actually researched it not long ago, but I forgot it again. Dearie me. It's brilliant about the Dalek time, or about the Time Destructor. It's a really good story, really engaging, and a lot of things happen in each episode, quite big. Episode 4, The Traitor, has been well known as a dark episode as well. It's really dark for everything, even the Daleks. When it gets to episode 12, oh my word, it gets really dark for everyone. But my only criticism about it, episode 7, 8 and 9 can be a little slow. Otherwise than that, it's a really good story. 9 out of 10. Hopefully this beautiful thing can recover to us, but missing episode rumour is pretty much dead at this point. Number 11, The Robots of Death. Absolutely had to be included on this countdown. It's a flipping brilliant story from season 14, I believe. Yes. Yeah, start of the Leela. I love Leela so much. She's absolutely brilliant as well. I see the Doctor and Leela are just like the definitive compare to each other. I don't know why, but I just love them together. Probably because of Big Finish, that's probably why. But it's not because of just that. But it's just a really good episode, it is. The robots, the Vogue robots, are really, really good as well. It's quite graphic and stuff. Like seeing people getting strangled to death by them as well. And robots just ignoring your command, just looking at these blank faces, and they're just walking towards you. It's pretty creepy, it is, and on original transmission that might creep some people out as well, but on first watching it is the best for you, because you don't know who's behind it, or I knew it because the character was sort of like hanging back from all of it. That's why I knew he was a suspicion to me, and yeah, and I was right on my first watching of it, but still, it's brilliant. Some people, it can catch you out, but some people not, but Yeah, again, it's a brilliant story. You know, maybe not as good as more watching because you know what obviously happens in the story, but again, it's brilliant. It has a very good storyline behind it, which I just knew about not too long ago, called Cowdle City by Magic Bullet Productions, who created audios from this story. It has a really interesting storyline, this one does. And then Robophobia, that Big Finish audio, really intrigues me as well. Absolutely brilliant story from Revisitations 3, another 9 out of 10. Great story. Number 10 on the list, we have The Evil of the Daleks. Another missing episode from the Troughton era. Again, absolutely a shame. It's a shame, really. It's a really good character piece in this, and the Daleks are right in the story straight away. It follows directly from the Faceless One, where the TARDIS gets kidnapped and they're off to find it while they say their goodbyes to Ben and Polly. As well, they meet a character called Victoria as well, who goes around their adventures in Season 5 as well. Some fantastic characters in here. They're all really engaging listening to them on audio. And it's set in multiple timelines. It is present day, Victorian times, and on Skaro. And they meet the brilliant Emperor Dalek as well. It's fantastic. It's not slow in any other way on all the episodes really. It doesn't really lose its build-up or anything like that. I'd say the build-up is quite slow, but then it shoots up quite dramatically. So yeah, it has good build-up, not the best, but it could be a little bit more better, but yeah, the build-up is good. They introduce the Daleks very well, and their plan of what they're doing, but it's not really put on a lot of detail until quite about episode 5, I think. But yeah, it's brilliant. And again, it's called The Final End Story. This was going to be the Daleks' final story. As well, there's parts of episode 7 that exists, is where the Emperor Dalek gets a horrible explosion and everything goes crazy on Skaro. They use toy Daleks, and the scene feels disjointed. I don't like that really much. I wish they blew up a real Dalek rather than a toy Dalek. Come on, it's the Daleks' final episode. Come on, that's a bit taking the crap, really, that is. But still a brilliant episode, and it's a really good one on audio. Fantastic. We have The Pyramids of Mars. Now this one, we're going into the 9.5 areas now, so almost 10, but they didn't make it. But again, Season 13, a flipping brilliant story, with the best one-off villain ever, in my opinion, Sutek the Destroyer. But he's not one-off anymore, because he's going to be in a Big Finish audio, The New Adventures Beneath Summerfield 2, which I cannot wait for. And Sutek, just a fantastic villain. You could love this story. Has fantastic action scenes in his characters. Brilliant. The mummies are really good as well. Sarah Jane is brilliant in this story, wielding a hunting rifle. Very badass in this story. Not a screamy in this episode, but brilliant. Tom Baker's also very good in this story as well. Quite rude in some places, but still, he's quite good. Like, hurry up when Sarah Jane's wrapping the bandages to pretend to be a mummy. Like, quite rude, quite aggressive in this story, but brilliant. A fantastic, I can't remember his name. I know, Professor Starman. That's it. For a side villain, brilliant. He was fantastic, and I loved him in episode 1's cliffhanger. A really good cliffhanger where he says, "I give Sutek's gift of death to the world," and it's such a good cliffhanger. And episode 3 as well. But the thing about episode 1 is it feels such a powerful cliffhanger. Like, now things are gonna get serious. It does like that. As well, this is an episode where the Doctor faces a god, and yeah, the Doctor. Well, even though Sutek's just sitting in his chair, he's just almighty. It's just almighty, really. What else could he would have done if he escaped? Really, it would have been disastrous. Brilliant story. The only thing is, the production isn't great. You know, wobbly sets. You can tell that a set piece has been designed on there. But otherwise, really good story. 9.5. Number 8 on the list, we have the Moon Base. The Moon Base. Wow. Yes, wow. The Cybermen at the creepiest form. Extremely based into the siege story. The reason why I love in this Cyberman, they're just so creepy. So powerful. And extremely intimidating and difficult to kill. And that's what Cybermen are supposed to be. In the 80s, they died so easily, and in New Who, they were It was a disgrace. But this one, they had all the power. They didn't let anything intimidate them. They didn't let no one push their commands. Like, you know, the Master, Missy, controlled the Cybermen, and they don't need a person to rule them. They can rule by themselves. That's what a Cyberman's supposed to be. They don't need anyone else. They can survive purely by their own. And they're so much better in their 60s format. Kid Peddler would be disgraceful for the Cybermen are right now. He was the best person to write Cyberman stories. And it's a shame, really, about Kid Peddler. He's a great writer for the Cybermen. And I wish he was still around writing them. But yeah, fantastic story this one. It's really creepy, really based into Siege story, where there's a lot of mysteries going on, that there's an infection or a disease going around in the base, and it's really intriguing what's actually going on and what's actually the real thing of what's causing the disease. It's a really good story. I love it. Another 9.5 out of 10. Troughton is really good, doing a brilliant quote in this one, where there are some corners of the universe where it's that quote. I can't remember it all on top of my head, but a fantastic story. The only thing really is that the end of the Cybermen, how they get defeated, is rather funny. But not really how I wanted it to go down, but still brilliant and fantastic animation. Number 7 on the list, Inferno, a Jon Pertwee episode from Season 7. Another brilliant story, and I know a lot of people do really enjoy this story, and it is really great. It's one of those doomsday sort of stories, and again, I love it. It's by Don Houghton, or Don Houghton, whatever his name is. A brilliant writer who I really respect. He's only done 2 stories, and he's been proven to be a really creative writer. Has some of the most best scenes ever, in my opinion, this one. Jon Pertwee is so brilliant in this story. It's where he's met all these characters and all these people he loves and works with as being a scientific advisor, and then he goes to a parallel dimension where they're all different, and they despise him, they're torturing him, and all of that. It's a really effective story as well. And to see the world end in like a bowl of lava, it's really quite thingy. Think of episode 6's cliffhanger. Wow, seeing that in your eyes, you know, just what if you're in that situation, you just look into the left, there's just lava, molten rock lava coming right towards you. A horrible scene that is, and yeah, Jon Pertwee quoted in The Mind of Evil as his doctor that he saw a whole world end into his front of his eyes, and it really affected him, and one of his greatest fears was fire, seeing the world burn in front of him. Again, that might explain the Time War as well. That is just one of his fears, fire. But yeah, a brilliant episode. The monsters, the Primoids, or I don't know what they're called. I'm just going to call them, yeah, the Primoids, I think they're called. Yeah, they are one-off, I believe. I don't think they've appeared in any books or anything like that. They look quite... They're good monsters. They're very aggressive. They act rather like animals. They are. It's a great story, it is. Definitely check it out. It's definitely worth your time. It is a 7-parter, so it's kind of a stretch. Personally, the start of it is a build-up, but then it kicks in brilliantly. Brilliant story. Number 6 on the list, The Mind of Evil. Don Houghton's ever story he's done. That might come to quite of a shocker for some, but personally, it is a fantastic story and one of my goods to my heart. It is. I do really enjoy it. It's rather shadowed, it is, or rather unappreciated by some fans, but I think it's one of the most greatest scripts ever. There is quite a lot going on, so you do have to focus on it. It's about the machine. The Master's doing quite a lot as well, with a Thunderbolt and the machine as well. And again, the World Peace Conference as well. And then it all ties into the story as well. And it's such a really good written story. It's using quite a lot of elements and story plots in this story. And it connects brilliantly together. And again, I love the characters in this as well. This is my favourite Master story because he's really badass in this one. Having a brilliant suit in that, a snazzy suit, smoking a cigar, looking badass as ever. He's brilliant in this episode. I just love him. He's just one of those good old-fashioned 70s bad guys, and I love him in this one. He's just so good. The machine as well is really good, where it affects the mind and kills you with your deepest fear, like someone drowned in a completely dry room. Someone was killed by rats. There's no rats in the room. Like the doctor, almost killed by fire, but there was no fire in the room. For that example, if you fear heights, then you see a height right down there and you fall and you die, and the machine uses that as your deepest fears and kills you with it. Really effective. My only criticism with it, the cliffhangers are rather the same. That's it really. Otherwise, a brilliant story, and it's just fantastic. I love the master in it. It's a really good story and it's really overlooked by fans. So now we have done by the top 5. Well, we've gone through this quite quickly in my opinion. So now, as I said, we'd be going through the honourable mentions that almost made it in the list, but just didn't. Yes, unfortunately, after that, the second half when I recorded the top 15 stories, the original recording got refused to upload and the footage was lost. So, unfortunately, that's really bad. So, and it was about 2 days when I recorded that, so my DVDs have been like this. Even though I could have just filmed in a totally different area, so that could have saved me all this as a hassle. Oh, I'm making work for myself, aren't I? But yeah, let's go right back to the video where we were just going to do, which was going to do the honourable mentions. Let's do that straight away. The almighty historical story, as it like to be called, Marco Polo. And I do think they do have some of this, the BBC. Another William Hartnell historical, The Massacre, with a very good ending which Doctor Who fans must explore one day. An underrated story, The Celestial Toymaker, with a very good villain. The end of the William Hartnell era and the introduction of the Cybermen, The 10th Planet. One of the golden eras of the Cybermen, The Tomb of the Cybermen. I may find it overrated, but still I think it deserves an honourable mention. The True Troutons face off in The Enemy of the World. Glad that we got it because it was such an underrated story when it was lost. Really popular story which fans were ecstatic about seeing returned, The Web of Fear. Again, a brilliant story featuring the Yeti. Another 60s Cyberman story, The Invasion, still a really good story. We go to John Pertwee now in Doctor Who and the Silurians from Season 7, one of the best seasons ever, or in my opinion, the best season. The introduction of the Sontarans and Sarah Jane Smith, written by Robert Holmes, The Time Warrior. A story by Malcolm Holt, an underrated story, because people just blag it off because of the dinosaurs, which is a shame really, because it is actually a really good story and people don't even bother to see this one because they're saying, oh, it's going to be crap because it's going to have crap dinosaurs in it. But no, it's a really good one. Going to Tom Baker by Robert Banks Stewart, Terror of the Zygons. The end of Philip Hitchcock's producing era, which is The Talons of Wen Chang. Arguably the best later Tom Baker story, The City of Death, so close of entering the top 15. Ben Aranovich, Remembrance of the Daleks, a really good story, but still did not put it off to get in the 15 countdown. And another New Who story, which is Human Nature and the Family of Blood, a cracking two-parter, which I really do like. So they were the honourable mentions. Now we're moving on to number 5. Number 5 on the list we have the Tom Baker era. Arguably, some people might have seen this coming on the list because it's such a classic story in a lot of people's eyes, and it's been voted the number 1 best story ever by Doctor Who fans. It is Genesis of the Dalek, with Davros is played by Michael Wisher, who's absolutely fantastic in this story. Yeah, what this is all about really is just looking about the back history of the Daleks and when they were created. It's just such a good story, and the cast, the choice of casting they did was over the moon, and I could not pick anyone else better to replace anybody, because everyone was on fine performances and just an almighty story. In this DVD, I call it the DVD with the best special features, because the special features on this DVD is just brilliant, all of them, and that's what they make it into a really good DVD release, is this story. And this Genesis of the Daleks has a really good back history, which Big Finish produced into a spin-off series, which is I, Davros, which is literally the story behind this story. And that really intrigues me now, because I love Genesis of the Daleks. It's a whopping good story. But I just wish even though the Daleks were really good in it, I wish they had a bit more screen time. That's just about it, really. But then anything else, it is solid gold. It is a perfect story. And yeah, a lot of people will be possibly happy or expected to see this story because it's on numerous amount of people's list. Personally, I don't find it overrated. I find it a classic. It's probably the reason why I watched this at quite a young age, which gives it a boost, and is usually people's first Doctor Who story because it's so popular. Number 4 on the list is it's one of these type of stories where The production isn't great on the story, but still it can turn out fantastic, just like the Seeds of Doom. It's a very close story to my heart, again, and it definitely deserves this placement, which is number 4th place. It is written by Robert Holmes, a fantastic writer. And again, it's from the Tom Baker era, and it is The Ark in Space. And I'm still an old-fashioned person, I still got the original edition. But beyond, this is a very close story to my heart because it's just absolutely brilliant. I love part 1, it always got a really creepy feel of what happened to Nova in the space station, or if a catastrophe happened. And the Wirren, they are brilliant one-off monsters. They may not look brilliant, they look rather tatty and you can tell their costumes, but I can see them, in my eyes, to be a really good monster. And this is a lot like Alien, or like a lower production version of Alien. And I love, Alien's good, but this is, I just love it so much. Tom Baker's really comedic, and also really serious as well in the story. And even though it's quite a small cast in this story, it's not a load of characters, like Genesis has loads of characters, but this one, with a small cast and low production on it, it works fine, and Hinchcliffe and Robert Holmes could just pull it off, right? It was such a really good written story. And yeah, I absolutely love it. It's a really good one. It's sometimes people just say it's an absolute classic. Some people say that it's not where it should. It's too highly respected. But again, it's one of my gems. And this story is, when I listened to this one, I thought, wow, this is such a creepy, atmospheric, claustrophobic story. And I wish it was recovered because I really love this missing story. And I would be over the moon to see it recovered. It is Fury from the Deep. Absolutely brilliant story. One of the scenes which exist on this got censored in Australia because it was such graphic. It was Mr. Quill choking one of the female characters to death with his gas attack. And it's quite of a creepy scene, looking at that, completely inappropriate to children watching that sort of thing. It is rather graphic. I love it because it's so claustrophobic on audio. Maybe that might lose it a little bit if it actually existed, but to be honest, this is rather similar to the Seeds of Doom sort of monsters, where the seaweed creatures, I love it was on a gas refinery, and also the characters are also play a really good performance. One of them, who I think he's running the gas refinery, he goes absolutely nuts, his character, and it's unbelievable. I wish this one existed. And Oak and Quill, who remind me of Lauren and Hardy in an evil version, are just whopping. They are. They steal the show. Victoria's brilliant on it. Very, very screamy. It's burnt my ears to listen to this one. And Patrick Troughton, and the introduction to the Sonic Screwdriver as well. Yes. Absolutely brilliant. Love to see this one. Not a single episode exists from it. But I hope that will change in the future. If this gets recovered, I will go nuts. Second place goes to a Troughton story. You're probably expecting this because Troughton is my favourite Doctor. He's a brilliant Doctor and I love him. And it features the Daleks. And it is his first episode. Power of the Daleks. Yeah, when I listened to this one again, I absolutely loved it. I've listened to this numerous times and I always love it. There's one reason why I love this story. I call it the most creepiest Dalek story. Because how the Daleks are so cunning and so sly and really do manipulate the other characters like Lesterson and the Doctor and all like that by saying, I am your servant, which sparks the victory of the Daleks, I am your soldier. But I absolutely love it, I do. And the cliffhangers written are absolutely remarkable. Again, Lesterson is one of these characters who thinks he's doing something right, but he isn't, and he goes absolutely nuts. He goes crazy, does he? Loses absolute mind in this story. And you can tell he goes completely nuts of what he's done, and he just can't believe he's done such a bad decision, even though he thought it was right. And of this character right by here, who played a side enemy in the Pyramids of Mars, I forgot his name, but he's whopping. He's one of the enemies in this one as well. And part 6 goes, whoa, so good it is. I got all the parts are good for their own reason. Part 1, we see the introduction of Patrick Troughton and his first taste of regeneration as the Doctor. That would be whopping. Part 5 and that whopping cliffhanger, and part 6 with that massive battle. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, again, I love it so much, and if this was recovered again, I would do the most craziest reaction ever. Now we come to first place, and now personally, it features 2 stories, it does, and I cannot pick one without the other one. I love these stories so much. They've pushed me through a lot of difficult times because they are really personal to mine. One of them is what introduced me to the Doctor Who era, and not only that, but the horror franchise, which I really, really love. And the House of Horror, Armchair Thriller, all that good stuff. And the other one is such an iconic story for me, and it just ended an era, and it felt so incredible that the team, the Doctor Who team who made this story, put all that effort and their soul into making that story the best story that they possibly can. And I personally see it, it is the best story that they have ever done. But it draws with another one because it's such a personal story of mine. So I cannot rate these stories better than the other. I just cannot. It's like torture saying that. One of them is written by Terrance Dicks, and get this, the other one is written by Terrance Dicks and also Malcolm Hulke writing on the other side of it on one of the stories. So number 1 goes to 2 stories. It is the War Games and Horror Fan Rock. I cannot pick one without the other, sorry, but these 2 stories just do it for me. As I said, War Games, they put all their heart and soul trying to make this the best possible story ever, and it felt like an end of the era. I can watch this all in one go as a 10-parter, and I love it. Every single character is remarkable. Sometimes there are some iffy scenes where it could have been better and they could have redone it, but still I think it is remarkable, and I love the story so much because it's such an iconic story to Troughton, and Troughton is my favourite Doctor, so it makes sense. And this one is my first Doctor Who story. It got me into Doctor Who, so this one would have not gone anywhere if not without this one. As well, it's a very horror sort of story, which is very claustrophobic, very atmospheric, and very creepy. And I watched this really young, and that's why I love horror stuff so much, because I watched it at a very young age, and I love it. I just love seeing horror. And yeah, I cannot pick 2 without the other, so I'll just explain one. So the War Games is just epic, absolutely epic for a 10-parter. Written all the way through is so good, it clings to you, and it's so engaging. Characters like the War Chief is brilliant, and we also see the Time Lords, but they're actually not very nice people who physically torture the Doctor to force to regenerate as well and go on exile on Earth and just stay there until how long they want him to. So they basically tortured and imprisoned the Doctor, so it doesn't seem like the Time Lords are very nice at all. But yeah, it's a whopping good one. Absolutely whopping good one. I love it so much. It's remarkable. And Horror Fan Rock, as I said, is my first Doctor Who story I ever watched and got me to the horror franchise. But how brilliant, because it was so atmospheric and so claustrophobic. Really tight atmosphere, and it's really creepy to sit on this lighthouse and pinpoint it on Fan Rock. I love it. They both get 10s. They could be. These 2 personally just go over. They're remarkable stories. And yeah, these are the winners. I'm sorry, but I cannot pick one without the other. I just cannot possibly do it. Yeah, first place goes to Horror Fan Rock and the War Games. So thank you very much for watching my top 15 TV stories. Now we will go to the winners of the Big Finish giveaway. Take it away, future TJ. It's me now, and I've got all the people who entered the Big Finish giveaway. Look at all of you snazzy lot in this hat. And yeah, I'll just re-show it again, even though I showed you like seconds ago. That's better. Colditz and Res, and these are very early ones. This one, quite a few people have been on this one because it's an out-of-print audio. It's not super rare. You can get it on eBay very easily if you just be lucky with your bids. But yeah, it's better than, it's not as good as absolutely free, isn't it? And as well, Red, which is a kind of a messy Doctor Who story. It's quite nuts, where people's heads explode, I think. Yes, I think we can start this straight away. I'll just get this on camera, and I'll give you a mix. And I'll just give it a mix, and I'll say, yeah, good luck to everyone who entered the competition. And maybe perhaps I will probably do more Big Finish giveaways when I reach like other milestones. Alright, I've got one. And for the winner, who I can't explain, this YouTuber right by here, I haven't known him for that long than other YouTubers, but he's still a whopping good one, and his content is, well, his videos and reviews are really good and very persuasive. I gotta say, very persuasive. Because when he reviews them, I thought, God, I want him because he sounds so good. But yeah, this YouTuber, he is brilliant, and he definitely deserves a free audio, absolutely. So the first winner is, not sure if you can catch this on the light because it's quite dark, Casturbrus the Fibster in my very scruffy writing. But yeah, well done, Kai. And I know what he wanted because he already has Red. He wanted Colditz, a physical copy, so this is yours now. So congratulations, Kai Casturbrus the Fibster. This is yours now. I don't want it anymore. And yeah, we go to the second winner now, which is for Red. So good luck, anybody. I know quite a few people wanted Colditz. I know it was a really well wound up one, but yeah, this is for Red. So let's give the hat another mix. But the second winner, which is for Red now. So good luck to you all. I don't know how many people, I think about over 35 people entered this competition, or I don't know how many are in here. No, I don't know, there's loads of them in here. But anyway, good luck to you all, and I will do another one eventually soon. I wish I could give everyone a Big Finish audio, absolutely. Alright, I think I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go dead middle now. Oh, this one, again, I can't explain this YouTuber. I'm not sure when I knew it, actually, but I think it was around about 2014. And he produced content which was brilliant, and he has low subscribers. And he produces really good work. I said, he needs a lot more subscribers and a lot more viewing figures, absolutely, because he does really good viewers, and it's a shame really. This happens to a lot of YouTubers. They produce fantastic content, and they just don't get the viewership. Rather have a chat, you know, it rather bugs me, it does. But yeah, there's so many different channels out there which I know of, which have low subscribers, but produce fantastic content. Yeah, he's reviewed stuff for quite a while, since about 2013, I believe. My memory can serve me correctly, and he's still reviewing stuff as well. So, and of course, and he's got into the Big Finish stuff as well, which is absolutely snazzy, isn't it? So yes, the winner for Red is TARDIS Guy 123. So congratulations to you two, Casturbrus the Fibster and TARDIS Guy 123. And all those people, you lucky people. But yeah, congratulations, I hope you enjoy your audios. I know Casturbrus the Fibster is going to a convention, which I'm going to, which is Day of the Doctors, so I can basically just keep this with me and just give it to him. So yeah, Kai, this is all yours now. Got the physical copy. And TARDIS Guy 123, you just have to get in contact with me, or I get in contact with you. Well done, and I will see everyone else in the next video, so have a good one.